full moon in Libra that we'll have on April 12th, 2025. I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the show. I'm Joshua the Psychic. You can check out my website, psychicsun.com, if there's anything I can do for you. Good morning, Gopal. You must be on the other side of the universe since I'm in evening. It's 6 o'clock here in Los Angeles, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. So good morning to you. So what is Libra first and foremost all about? So we have this Libra full moon on the 12th of April, and Libra represents balance, harmony, relationships, and aesthetics. Relationships are really big for Libra, but also balance, and aesthetics or beauty is all about balance. Balance is beautiful. So they've done studies to find out what makes people beautiful. Well, it's about symmetry between the left and the right side of their faces, or the top part and the bottom part of their faces. So it's all about balance and aesthetics. With the Libra energy, there's more of a focus on diplomacy, fairness, and partnership. It's going for the win-win result. How can you win and how can I win? How can we be a team? Love, they say, is the egotism of two. We're awesome. We're great. We're fantastic. And that's the energy that you're going to want to employ, or more specifically, any blocks to that energy you want to get rid of, because the full moon is all about letting go, completing a cycle, and really moving on from things that don't feel good. Hey, Kasmar, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. So Libra is the opposite of Aries. Aries is all about individuality and self-assertion, right? And Libra tends to go along to get along, whereas Aries will go against to go against, right? Aries are typically not afraid of conflict. Therefore, they don't have any problem starting conflict because they aren't afraid of it. Whereas Libra is more conflict averse. They would try to tiptoe around situations. The things being, though, when a Libra actually does get mad, because they're so used to acquiescing and sort of, okay, tolerating, and then something happens. That cherry gets put on the hot fudge sundae, and then they explode. And when a Libra gets mad, they leave absolutely nothing unsaid. So we could say, oh, Aries is so combative. Well, yeah, but when Libra has had it, watch out, because hell hath no fury like a Libra scorned. And when an Aries, when a Libra is with an Aries, they become very Aries. In fact, that's a very, very common theme throughout relationships in astrology, how we take on each other's traits. In any case, Libra is all about diplomacy, and the full moon in Libra is going to highlight the balance between individual autonomy and the needs of a partnership. So we're talking about how we can assert ourselves, but also to take the other person into consideration. So with Venus, Venus is the ruler of Libra, so that's the most important planet that we're dealing with this lunation. Hey, Kelsey, nice to see you. So we got a few aspects with Venus. Venus is exalted in Pisces, which is nice, and that's where it is, and it's conjunct Saturn. So Pisces as well as Venus can be very indulgent. With Saturn, we're going to be a little bit more restrained, a little bit reticent. I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think with Venus retrograde, we could benefit from being held back a little bit. But that North Node is there, so we are being given a direction, and we're essentially being asked to form stable, meaningful connections. Anything that aligns with our higher purpose, because that's what the North Node is. So we're balancing our emotional depth and responsibility. And that Saturn, so close to Venus, is going to really bring up issues of responsibility in terms of your relationships, right? You want freedom in your relationships, you have to take that responsibility. Now, Venus will also sextile Uranus in Taurus, and that's nice. That's harmonious, happy changes, because the sextile is a nice aspect, and Uranus is about change. So you may find yourself more creative under this lunation from the 12th of April to the 28th, and you may get unexpected insights that encourage unconventional approaches to love and beauty. So this full moon is probably going to clear the way and open the door to exciting, refreshing changes in your relationships. Oftentimes when we see a full moon, either in Libra or hitting the partnership sector of your chart, it's easy to say, oh, this person's going to leave a relationship. Your relationship's ending. Well, not necessarily. It could be a matter of your relationship is transforming. So your relationship, as you knew it, will end. That'll die, and there'll be a new relationship or a new version of your relationship that forms through the lunation, if that makes sense. Happy Thursday to you. Will your bed exam be clear or not? Bed exam or bar exam? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, you got Venus trine Mars in Cancer. That's going to enhance your emotional harmony and passion. It's going to promote nurturing connections and encouraging tender, remember that song, Tender Love? Tender expressions of love and desire in relationships and creativity. So there's a sexiness to this lunation as well. So you can really get a lot of things accomplished. I think this is a good transit for communicating. At this point, Mercury will be direct, so it will be easier to communicate. Venus will still be retrograde. However, it will be going direct later on the day of the full moon, on the 12th. So with Mercury going direct and Venus going direct, it's going to make things a lot easier, especially after the dust is settled with eclipse season finalizing upon this lunation. Other aspects, we got the Sun in Aries conjuncting Chiron, opposing the Libra moon. So that's going to highlight potentially tension between your identity and your emotional wombs, i.e., if I assert myself, am I going to still be loved? If I tell people how I feel, or if I'm authentic, am I going to have love taken away from me, etc.? So it's going to create a nice opportunity for you to heal through self-assertion and balancing the needs of others. You can really say whatever it is that you want to say as long as you're saying it with love. Remember that diplomacy. And you want to be in that abundant vibration just because it's going to make everything easier for you. We do have a T-square. Mars in Cancer will be making a square to both the Sun and the Moon. And that could bring emotional intensity and conflict. And the big issue with that is asserting ourselves while navigating our relationships and our family dynamics. It's a fine balance. You got to make sure that you're taking care of, number one, you, but you also want to do it in such a way that you have a surplus of love and energy. So you're giving from your saucer as opposed to your cup. So how can you connect with the divine and allow yourself to be awash with abundance, right? So much love and so much abundance, so much energy. So it's not coming off the top. It's not going to hurt you to be that loving because you're oozing with love and abundance. Now, Mars in Cancer will also trine Mercury in Pisces. This is really good for communication. It's going to foster intuitive communication, emotional depth, empathetic understanding in your conversations. And it will allow for a more nurturing, creative exchange of ideas. So this is also really good if you're working on any collaborations with anyone. It's going to be a nice lunation for that. And really, I think the big thing is with this, you got to remember this lunation is coming after eclipse season. And we are going to be out of Mercury retrograde by the time of it. And later on in the day, on the 12th of April, Venus will also be direct. Now, both Mercury and Venus will take a little bit of time to get up to speed. Mercury will get up to speed by the end of April, whereas Venus is going to get up to speed in May. That being said, things will get easier and easier and easier. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice bow on eclipse season. So your Libra full moon will be at 23 degrees. You may want to check to see what 23 degrees falls in your chart, what house that's in. But for all of us, the themes are going to be balance, relationships, and harmony. And we need to ask ourselves, am I balancing partnership and independence? Because with the full moon, you got the moon in Libra, the sun will be in Aries. That's what a full moon is. And it's calling attention to any imbalances in your relationship and anything that you might be doing too much of. Are you spending too much time at work and you're not spending enough time at home? Are you working too hard and not resting enough, etc.? So it's all about balance. Hey, Haley, nice to see you. Hey, Kelsey, 2 degrees from your sun? Oh, boy, Kelsey. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be a big deal for you. Enjoy your full moon. That's going to be a lot of fun. So let's start with Aries, of course. So for Aries, this is going to be hitting your 7th house of partnerships. So you want to release, the full moon is about letting go and releasing any outdated relationship stories or beliefs about the role that you can play in your relationships. If you're feeling as if you always get into this kind of relationship, or this is an issue for you. Well, that's an old story. And with the eclipse, especially the last one, the solar one in your sign, the past is really irrelevant. You get to create a new story for you. As I always say, Charlie Chaplin, who I believe was an Aries, he entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest and got third place. So we're always making ourselves up as we go along. What's your relationship story? And when talking about butterfly and heather symbolism, you're like the butterfly emerging from its cocoon, and you can let go of those past patterns that no longer serve your partnerships. And that's going to clear the way for harmony and mutual understanding. If you want a heather, you want a sprig of heather, you can get heather, you can plant heather, you can buy heather, you can get droplets of heather. It encourages emotional healing, helping you to transform how you engage in your relationships, allowing for deeper, more balanced connections. And the card we pulled for you, Aries, is Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups is all about emotional integrity, and it's about being comfortable with who you are as a person and really knowing yourself and what your emotional needs are. Now, this is very incongruous for you, Aries, because you're a fire sign and Queen of Cups is water. So you're not going to be necessarily comfortable in your emotions, because when you're in an emotional state, that douses your flames. That being said, you have to use all four elements, earth, fire, water, and air, in order to manifest, right? So spend this time, this full moon, really getting in touch with how you feel and ideally expressing how you feel authentically. And shared adventures weave magical tales. What kind of adventure do you want to go on with your partner or your partners? Do you want to go on trips together? Do you want to work on creative projects together? Do you want to be sexually adventurous together and explore each other's bodies? Right? Whatever it is that you want, but it's going to be up to you to create this story. Remember, you're the writer, you're the director, you're the producer of your story. And with this full moon, it's going to be important for you to make sure that whatever story you concoct in this next transition, you want to make sure that it's emotionally relevant to you, that it emotionally serves you. What do you need emotionally, and what do you need to do in order to get it? So for Taurus, this full moon is hitting your 6th house. The 6th house is about your daily work and your health. It's your house of lifestyle. So you want to release any outdated habits or routines that limit your growth. Taurus is a sign that, it's very fixed, and an object in motion likes to stay in motion. So with people who have strong fixity or earth in their chart, especially Taurus, they can continue doing things out of habit as opposed to out of logic. They might be doing things just to do them because they're used to doing them. Well, we always have done it this way. That's not good for this full moon, because you want to allow yourself to really embrace the harmonious changes that are available to you. So like the butterfly, transform your daily life. Release what's holding you back in work and health. You might decide that you need to get out of your job and find a new job, right? Or make adjustments to the current job you're in. Clear the way for more productive and nurturing practices. Heather, if you're interested in using some heather, or even putting heather on your like a picture of heather, right? It'll help you. You want to tap into the vibrations of butterflies and heathers ideally, and that's going to help you transition this full moon. But heather symbolizes vitality, encouraging you to adopt healthier habits that truly support your well-being. So there might be a habit that you have that doesn't serve you, and it's going to be about letting go of that. Queen of Wands is the card we pulled for you. So Queen of Wands just does it, right? Queen of Wands is very, very fiery. And what Queen of Wands is, it's mastery of self-knowledge. Its astrological equivalent, it would be Leo, right? Because the queens are fixed and wands are fire. So fixed fire is Leo. So when we're talking about you really making the most of this lunation, it's a matter of just do it. Make the decision that you are the person that doesn't do this anymore. Make the decision that you are a type of person that does do this, some habit that is good for you. Say you want to cultivate more of a writing practice, for instance. Well, just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Assume the identity. Don't resist. Just step into that identity. Aries is really great. Leo is really great. Sagittarius is really great. Although Sagittarians can screw themselves by thinking too much. But the fire signs, by their very nature, they just step into what they want to do. They just do it. And that's what is going to help you on this lunation. Every day is a vibrant celebration. How can you celebrate your life every day? How can you infuse your life daily with that fire, with that creative spark that allows you to be inspired and allows you to also, I think, burn away, since you got Queen of Wands, anything that really doesn't make sense for you anymore. I think it's a good idea, Taurus, especially with Uranus having been your sign for the past several years, to do a check-in with your values. What matters to you now that didn't matter to you before? Have your values changed? And if so, what can you do on a day-to-day basis that serves those values? Because that's what happiness is. Happiness is value fulfillment, but you're not going to be able to fulfill your values unless you know what they are. And I think with Queen of Wands coming up for you, there's new values that are ahead. So definitely check in with yourself. So Gemini, this is a fun full moon for you. It's hitting your 5th house of pleasure. So it's all about creativity, romance. You want to release any creative blocks. Maybe you have self-doubt in terms of your self-expression. Maybe you think, oh, I can't do this. I never did this before. I can't draw. I can't paint, whatever it might be. But yet you have the incentive to do so. You're inspired to do something. Well, do it. And if you're worried about any perfectionism, like, this is a really good time to let go of that, releasing any kind of creative blocks and self-doubt when it comes to really expressing yourself. So like the butterfly's free flight, allow your creativity to soar by releasing any self-imposed limitations. Clear the way for uninhibited self-expression in both love and creative endeavors. Just play, right? Be like that butterfly. Be light. Let go of any limitations. And Heather will invite you to find joy in your passions in your relationship, and will also help you to be free from any past constraints. We pulled 6 of Wands for you, which is one of the best cards. It's called Victory. It's a matter of you're en route to victory. So you got to, claim that space, claim that new role as victorious, as a victor, right? And with that energy, really what's cool is that it's aligned with Jupiter in Leo, and Leo is aligned with the 5th house, the transit you're going through, the house of pleasure transit you're going through. So your heart's joy lights up your life. If you can allow yourself to do those things that make you joyful, you're serving your purpose, because other people will see you as an example and they'll mirror you, and they'll do the same, because that's what we're here to do. We have to become our most authentic selves. That's really our job here, is to be us as good as possible, right? Because you're never going to get an opportunity to be you again, right? Like, this is, you got one life to live, like that TV show. So your heart's joy lights up your life. So do what you can to be inspired, because people are watching, right? And I think with Jupiter still in your sign, I mean, you definitely, now's the time to do things. Don't wait, right? Because you're not going to be as lucky in future years, right? So strike while the iron is hot. So Cancer, your full moon is going to be in your 4th house. This is actually the house that your sign rules, emotional security. It's about home, family, domestic life, your personal life. And you want to release any past emotional burdens that affect you emotionally, right? What are you holding on to? They say if you have any baggage, it's not yours, because if your baggage is heavy, it's not yours. So what did you perhaps inherit from your family that you no longer want to deal with? Is it a guilt complex? Is it beliefs that don't serve you? Are you feeling a certain way because of how you've been made to feel by people who didn't have your best interest? And what do you need to really strengthen your sense of emotional security? And most important, what needs to go away in order for you to feel more nurtured, more loved, more connected to the Divine Mother? So you're releasing anything that undermines your emotional security, anything that keeps you from feeling snug as a bug in a rug. And just as the butterfly transforms, you can clear away emotional baggage from your past, anything that weighs you down, especially in regard to home and family dynamics. Heather invites emotional healing, providing the space for new nurturing energy to flourish in your personal life, making room for peace and comfort. Now, the card we pulled for you is King of Pentacles, which is pretty cool. So King of Pentacles is the rich court card, right? He's king, he's cardinal, so that makes him And it's Earth, so that makes him Capricorn astrologically. And really, this is suggesting, really to focus in on what makes you rich. Is it financial security that you need to lean into? Are you feeling rich due to your heritage, due to all the stories, all your experiences, all your education? Find out what makes you rich and allow that to be the foundation on which you build new things. King of Pentacles would suggest that you take a very mature approach to finances and that you allow yourself to create a legacy, not just a nice inheritance for your heirs, but what are you leaving behind? Are you leaving behind beautiful children? Are you leaving behind awesome creative projects, right? What are you leaving behind? And focusing on that may help you to strengthen your foundation and build upon it. So Leo, this full moon in Libra is hitting your third house. So it's all about communication. It's all about how you can release limited thinking and outdated beliefs around communication. Well, if I say this, then we're going to get into an argument and blah, blah, blah. Well, again, if you can communicate with love, you're going to be all set. I think the third house is most important when it comes to your mindset. Are you thinking in a way that is good for you? Yeah, you're thinking in a way that is going to help you to achieve your goals. So you want to release any limited thinking, any negative thinking, any outdated beliefs, especially around communication. Oh, I'm a terrible writer, or I'm a terrible public speaker, like stuff like that. Let it go. Because you got to. At this stage, we all have to know how to write, and we all need to know how to speak, right? So let go of any fears around that. Like the butterfly spreading its wings, you could free yourself from any mental constraints and express your ideas openly. Clear the way for more effective communication and learning. Heather will encourage wisdom for you, and it will help your thoughts to flow with clarity and confidence, and it will enhance your connection with others. That's what we want. We want you to be connected to other people and to feel really part of the world. And that's really what makes a lot of sense for you with the card that you pulled, the world. This is about integrating, understanding your limitations, and then you're able to maximize your creative potential. So, the world card, you're closing up a big cycle in your life, according to this card. The world card is all about success. It's about integration. If you notice, you got the 4 elements on each side of the card. So you're integrated, you're whole, you're complete. This is like graduation. So you're probably closing an air cycle in your life. And there's going to be certain things that you're no longer going to do anymore. Maybe you're graduating, or maybe you're getting a promotion, or maybe you're leaving a job, maybe you're leaving a social group, but you're closing an air cycle. And remember that your ideas are what create new worlds. Like, it all starts with an idea. You have an idea, and then you share it with somebody, and then you make a plan, and then you work your plan, right? You plan your work, and then you work your plan. So I think this is going to be a very good lunation for you, especially if you can think in a way that serves you. So Virgo, this full moon in Libra is hitting your second house, and it's the house of values, resources, money, self-worth. So you want to release any outdated self-worth beliefs that limit your abundance. Maybe you were taught by somebody, maybe a parent or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, whatever, teachers, that you weren't worthy. And maybe that stuck with you in some way. And you want to release that. You want to allow yourself to release any feelings of low self-worth, anything that makes you feel that you don't deserve anything that you want, right? You want to let go of any lack of deservability or any lack of worthiness. And that will be helpful. It will be helpful for you to start appreciating yourself more, because if you can appreciate yourself more, you're going to appreciate, right? You're going to grow in value. And everything is a reflection, and that's what this full moon is about. It's going to reflect to us what we're playing with. So if you're undervaluing yourself, you're going to see that reflected back to you, and that's going to keep you from making as much money as you would like, and certainly no Virgo likes that, right? So you want to make sure that you're appreciating yourself. You're focusing on your talents. You're focusing on your skills and how awesome you are. Because Virgo is very, very critical, very self-critical. And that is going to be reflected back to you this full moon if you have too much perfectionism. So you want to make sure you're letting go of anything that undermines your self-worth. Just as the butterfly sheds its cocoon, release old thoughts about your value and security. Clear the way for a more empowered sense of self-worth. Heather, if you're interested in using some heather, it'll help remind you that you're deserving of prosperity and will encourage you to embrace your worth fully. And that's going to open doors to new opportunities for you. What's cool is you got the Queen of Pentacles. And Queen of Pentacles is actually aligned with the sign of Taurus, and the second house, the transit you're going through now, is aligned with the sign of Taurus too. So Queen of Pentacles is a card. She's not really ambitious. She likes nice things, and she likes to have money in the bank and food in the fridge, and she likes her sensuality. She wants to feel good in her body and being healthy, but she's not really ambitious. So I would say with this lunation, Virgo, just, get things stabilized. How can you make things more practical? How can you be more economical? And I would say with Queen of Pentacles, don't push it. Like if you're in a job, you do not have to go all out all the time. You're going to burn out. And I've seen this with Virgos countless times. They work themselves to the bone, and then they either get sick or they have to take sabbatical or whatever. And it's not necessary. They say that's because Virgos are born during a time in which their parents weren't getting along. And because babies are naturally narcissistic, they think everything's about them. Virgos spend their whole life overcompensating, thinking that they've done something wrong, when really their parents would have been fighting, irrespective of their presence. So you want to make sure that you're honoring your self-worth and don't go overboard. I'm not suggesting you be lazy, but you don't need to go crazy. 90-hour work weeks, 12-hour days, like cool it. Just be Queen of Pentacles. Get the job done. And you know what? If you, Virgo, typically can't get the job done within a day, then nobody can. And they're taking advantage of you. So your evolving values enhance your prosperity. If you can determine what your new values are and you start living in accordance with them, you're going to be more valuable. I also would suggest, Virgo, during this transit to open your throat chakra, to sing, to talk, write letters that you don't send if you need to get something off your chest. But the big message with Queen of Pentacles is, just keep things stable and be economical in your energy output. Libra, you're the star of the show. Happy full moon in your sign. This full moon, of course, is hitting your first house of identity. So it's all about your self-assertion, how you assert yourself. And you want to release any old self-concepts or self-constructs. Everything starts with the first house, right? So you have to see yourself being able to do something before you can do it. You got to allow yourself to look at what your end goal is and ask yourself, are you playing that character? Are you playing that role? And we're all making ourselves up as we go along anyway. We're all essentially channeling our personalities, they say. So think about what you want and who you need to show up as in order to get it. This is why it's important to be aware of other people that might be in a position that you'd like to be in. One of the easiest things to do is to look at somebody who has what you want and determine what their beliefs are. What must they believe, right? And then adopt those beliefs yourself. So like the butterfly, you want to clear away only old self-definitions and allow your true essence to shine through. It's a full moon in your sign. So I would say, baths are really good. Anything you can do to let go of things like sweating, really, really helpful. Drinking your water. And heather, if you're looking to use some heather, that's going to help you reframe your self-image so you can achieve your goals and express yourself fully in the world. Now, the card we pulled for you, Libra, I love this, is Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a really good card. It talks about you having help in making your dreams come true. It also speaks about leadership and being the one who has that personal vision. Be the person who has the vision. Be the leader. I think, with these retrogrades, especially your ruler, Venus, finally going direct, it's going to be easier for you to step up to the plate and really give that direction. And it doesn't have to be a leadership necessarily only with other people, but you got to be your own leader. You got to, tell yourself, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to step into this new identity because this is what we want, right? To create that personal vision and keep it in front of your mind. I would get a vision board, create a vision board. That could be cool. And really, what is that personal vision of your identity? Because a radiant you ushers in wonders. So a new you is all you need in order to get whatever it is that you want. And, you know, it's logical. You can't do what you've always done and get what you've never gotten, right? You have to do something new and allow yourself to then get new things. So utilize this full moon to let go of anything that's limiting you, anything that's heavy. You want to be like that butterfly. You want to feel free. And then you want to make practical moves to ground your intentions and enjoy your 2025. So Scorpio, this full moon in Libra is hitting your 12th house of the subconscious. You might want to get some extra sleep. You might want to focus on affirmations and self-hypnosis, subliminals, stuff like that, because your subconscious is very, very open. I would say this is probably not going to be a social transit for you, although Libra is a very social sign. I would say with the 12th house transit you're going through, Scorpio, it might be better to get some extra rest, sleep, rest, enjoy your privacy. The big thing for you, it's about releasing any past burdens, anything that's been weighing you down, that's heavy in your mind. Any emotional baggage, any worries. I think it's a good time for you to release worry, make peace of mind your only goal. And like the butterfly's metamorphosis, allow yourself to let go of old limiting emotional patterns. So what is it that you constantly find yourself doing? What role are you usually in, and how do you want to get out of it? Clear the way for deep healing and transformation during this full moon. And if you're interested in using some heather, well, that'll support you in releasing what no longer serves you. It'll help bring peace and renewal to your inner world. Now, the card we pulled for you is 7 of Cups. Now, this is a card, it's about choices. And none of them might be good, and all of them might be good, or one of them might be good. You just don't know. So with this card, Scorpio, the wind is in your face. It's not a good idea to make momentous decisions around this time. I would just, take a step back, consider all your options. And as the weeks progress, especially after this full moon cycle, on the 28th, it will be done, the 28th of April. Then if you have to make a decision, I'll make it then. But I feel like with Mercury still slow and Venus going direct this day of this full moon, but not completely up to speed, 7 of Cups says, allow yourself to be passive. Don't feel like you got to go out on a limb. And that makes a lot of sense with your 12th house transit you're going through. This transit for you from the 12th of April to the 28th of April, Scorpio, it's all about how you can understand more about how you operate, how you tick. And when you understand that, then you're going to be able to make little tweaks and say, oh, I do this because of that, right? It's a heavy psychological time in which you get to really rearrange things in your mind, rearrange the beliefs in your mind like furniture, because first we make our beliefs and our beliefs make us. So if you have any beliefs that are undermining your success, this is going to be a great opportunity this full moon to release them, because you contain all beliefs. So if you believe you're not good enough for something, well, you also contain the belief that you are good enough. It's a matter of whatever belief you focus on becomes your reality. So look at all the options that you have in terms of beliefs, because your inner relations will reshape your reality. And it's the 12th house might be very much underestimated, but everything really is about the subconscious, because we get in life what we subconsciously are. So definitely take this time to nurture your subconscious mind and take the time to cultivate those beliefs that serve you. So Sagittarius, this full moon will be hitting your 11th house. That's going to be fun for you. It's house of friends and dreams. I think, Sag, you got a break now that the sun is in Aries. And the 11th house is all about your friends and your community, your network, also your hopes and your dreams and your wishes and your ideals. So you want to make sure that you're releasing any limiting beliefs. Oh, I'd love to do this, but I could never do that. Well, you want to release that. Why not? Why not you? Right? If not you, who? If not now, when, as they say. You also want to release any beliefs or blocks around finding those perfect friends or that perfect community, right? This is a time for you to embrace the butterfly's flight toward new connections, because that's going to be really helpful for you, especially with Pluto and Aquarius driving really well with your sign. You're going to get ahead with friends and community much faster than you would otherwise. So clear the way for supportive, like-minded individuals to enter your life. What do you need to do? What do you need to get rid of and clear so you can then join a group or cultivate some new friendships or spend some time with the friends that you already have? Heather encourages you to trust the right people at the right time. Know that people are going to be drawn to you for who you are, and the right people will be drawn to you. And you want to make sure that you're healing any past pain around friendships, about goals, etc. And the card we pulled for you, Sagittarius, is 10 of Cups. I love this. 10 of Cups is the happily ever after card. So you're closing an emotional cycle, and you got to determine, what it is that's going to make your life happily ever after. What is that dream? What does it look like? Because with the 11th house, you get to go for it. They say that there are no dangling carrots in the universe, that whatever you want comes with it the built-in prerequisite ability for you to achieve it. So if you have a desire, you can't attain it. So you want to make sure you're letting go of any limiting beliefs. Aspirations take you to stellar heights. So aspire. Make every single day aspirational. That's going to be easy for you, Sagittarius. Aspire to inspire would be a quote for your transit, because the 11th house is all about inspiring other people in a lot of respects, being inspired by your friends, inspiring people through your creative output, etc. So allow yourself to aspire to inspire. Oh, what is this, Kelsey? That actually sounds great. I've been thinking of some beliefs that need to be released. My pleasure, Kelsey. My pleasure. So Capricorn, this full moon is hitting your 10th house of status. It is actually the house that your sign is attributed to. And it's all about your career, your public life, how the world sees you. So you want to release any fears around your status and your career progression. Don't fear being at the top, right? And the key to the 10th house is really the 4th house. Like, are you nurturing yourself? Are you tapping into the energy of the Divine Mother, caring for yourself really well? Because then when you have that energy taken care of, then you can work with the status energy, which is the energy of the Divine Father, really. So you want to make sure that you're not living in a broken home, so to speak. You want to make sure that you have both the Divine Mother and the Divine Father that work perfectly for you, supporting you. And like the butterfly emerging, free yourself from self-imposed limitations around your career. Just let it go. Say, you know what? I'm not going to think about this anymore. I'm not going to worry about this anymore. Clear the way for new professional opportunities, because they most likely will be coming up around this time from the 12th to the 28th. If you want to use some heather, that symbolizes wisdom, and that's going to help you to step into your power with confidence and to embrace your true professional potential. Now, you got the 9 of Wands as your card. 9 of Wands it's like hyper defensiveness. It's like you might be looking for an attack that doesn't come, right? So I would say let people help you. Don't be so cagey. I also would say that with the 9 of Wands, you're probably nearing the end of a successful cycle. So tie up your loose ends and utilize this full moon to whatever you're working on professionally, reach a stage of completion by the 28th of April. Because you're probably going to be then realizing, oh, geez, I want to do this, or a new opportunity, a new project will come about. And you want to make sure that you're finalizing things so you can go into those new things come that new moon on April 28th. Now, your passion will magnetize success. At the end of the day, if you're passionate about something, you're going to do well, right? Because your passion makes your work play. And if your work is play, you're going to work a lot, or you're going to play a lot, and then you're going to really cut cake. So make sure that you're allowing yourself to follow your excitement when it comes to your career. Don't do something just because you think it's practical, because you're going to be more successful when you're doing something that you're excited about, that you're passionate about. So your passion will magnetize your success. So Aquarius, this is easy for you. It's a 9th house transit, the house of the higher mind. It's about your philosophy. It's about foreign travel. It could be about publishing and broadcast opportunities. The 9th house can also be about a leap of faith. Whenever we go to a different country, it's a leap of faith. Or if we publish a manuscript, that's a leap of faith, right? So you want to allow yourself to go out on a limb. Release old philosophies or belief systems that no longer serve you. What's your life philosophy? Do you think that you can achieve your goals? What do you think that we're here for? What do you think you're here for? And make some adaptations as you deem necessary. That's why travel is so good. It gives you a new perspective. That's why really sharing your perception with the world is really helpful, because as soon as you give what you have in your brain to other people, there's an openness and you get more knowledge. It's very serendipitous. As soon as you share what you have, you learn more. It's almost like you're making space by giving it away. So just as the butterfly transforms, Aquarius, release outdated views that limit your growth. Clear the way for new ideas, philosophies, and adventures. Heather invites you to expand your mind and embrace new perspectives that align with your evolving truth. And that really is key. You might be starting a new journey, going into a deep dive of some educational pursuit, or maybe you'll be not necessarily going to school, but just studying on your own, or really getting absorbed in new philosophy or spirituality. And that's going to help you cultivate a better life philosophy that really serves you. Now, the card we got for you is really nice. 3 of Cups. This is about abundance. Really, enjoy it. Enjoy this transit. I think the next 2 weeks for you, from the 12th of April to the 28th, I think you should go to parties and don't decline many invitations with the 3 of Cups. Libra is a sign that's highly social and highly compatible with yours. So be sure to do what you can to be around people that you love and that love you. And who knows, you might get some ideas from them. That might be what happens, right? You're hanging out with a group of people and you're having a good time, and they decide, oh, let's work on this creative project, or let's go on a trip. So new horizons beckon with promise. There are new horizons for you, Aquarius. So this full moon is going to help you get out of your comfort zone and take a leap of faith. And last but never least, my fishies, Pisces, this full moon will be hitting your 8th house. So there is this transitional moment for you in which you are letting go quite substantially, because the 8th house is all about transformation. It's all about rebirth and death. And it also has to do with intimacy, your boundaries, right? Like, for instance, sex is an 8th house thing. Well, with sex, you're certainly releasing a boundary, right? You're letting somebody really close to you. And the same metaphor applies to when you go into business with somebody, or you have a joint enterprise, or you combine resources in some capacity. So with this full moon, you want to release outdated boundaries. Maybe you set a boundary with somebody and that's no longer relevant, that you can let your guard down and let that person in. Or maybe you dissolved a boundary between you and somebody else and you found out that that's not for your best interest. Well, that means that you're going to have to erect a new boundary, right? But it's all about boundaries, the 8th house. Even the rules that you set for yourself, those are boundaries. I'm no longer doing this. I'm definitely going to do this. That's an 8th house thing, right? Because it's death. It's like a do or die thing. So release outdated boundaries, anything that limits your emotional growth. Like the butterfly, Pisces, allow yourself to release old emotional barriers and enhance deeper intimacy. And that could be intimacy, emotional intimacy with yourself. It could be physical intimacy with other people. Many, many different ways you can go about doing that. But you want to clear the way for healing and transformation in your relationships. Heather, if you're interested in using some Heather, that will invite you to let go of fears around vulnerability. Because when you're releasing a boundary, you're going to have to be vulnerable. But there's a strength in vulnerability too, right? And you want to trust in the power of emotional connection. You can be really empowered by other people. And you want to make sure that when you are combining your resources with somebody else, that you're getting stronger. Otherwise, it's stupid. If you're combining resources and connecting with somebody, or getting in a relationship with somebody, and they're making you weaker, get out. That's just dumb, right? So be strong with yourself and give yourself those boundaries. This is bad for me. I'm going to say no. This is good for me. I'm going to say yes. Now, the card we got for you is the Empress. So something new in your life is going to be born. When anything new comes into your life that brings you great joy, the Empress is the vehicle for that something. So something new is going to be born, and it's very, very sexual energy. Venus rules the Empress. It's that very heightened feminine sexual energy. So it's creative, it's sexy, it's fun, it's abundant. So definitely tap into the energy of her. She has it going on. She's completely fulfilled and super comfortable. And you should be too after this transit. Every decision enhances tomorrow's joy. So remember that we're all making decisions on a regular basis. And for you during this transit, you want to make those decisions that make you feel stronger, more abundant, and more empowered. And if something is undermining your sense of security or your confidence, you need to be the divine mother and make sure you're protecting yourself, or the divine father and make sure you're protecting yourself, right? Don't let anything undermine your sense of security and self-worth or your confidence, because you want to be as abundant as possible. And you want to make sure during this transit, Pisces, you're letting go of anything that undermines you so you can clear the way for brand new growth. And we did it, folks. We went through every single sign of the zodiac for your full moon in Libra on April 12th. Thanks so much for joining me tonight in the live in the chat. I see Casmar and Kelsey and Haley and Gopal. So thank you all for joining me. Thanks for watching the replay if you're catching that. And if you're watching this live, well, I will see you tomorrow for This Week Astrology, as well as next week for another Thursday Night Lights. So bye, everybody, and thanks for joining again.